Hi everyone, this is Tina. I'm Neomed's functional medicine practitioner and nutritionist. Today we're going to be talking to you guys about probiotics. Many of my patients already know the benefits of probiotics and are taking many kinds and different forms of probiotics. However, today we're going to go over what probiotics are, what they can do for us, and what kinds of probiotics perhaps are better for us than others. So what's so important about taking probiotics? Well, our gut is made up of a diverse microbiome filled with different kinds of bacteria, viruses, fungus even, perhaps parasites. And when they are all living together in harmony, this can definitely help benefit our health. The problem is when dysbiosis occurs. So for example, if you eat a very refined diet, if you're very stressed out, if your digestion isn't up to par, if you have overgrowths of any kind, if you have foods that are bothering you, all these things could lead to a dysbiosis and affect the delicate balance of the microbiome. And what can happen here is that we have too many bad bacteria compared to the good guys. The good guys can actually protect our immune system. There's tons of research now coming out that shows that probiotics boost the immune system and help actually modulate the immune system, keeping it in balance. Probiotics can also help with better digestion. So if you're having issues with digestion, probiotics can help. They're also responsible for producing our neurotransmitters. 70% of our brain's neurotransmitters are produced by our good bacteria in the gut. So for a lot of people that have issues with depression and anxiety, simply by improving their diet to feed these good bacteria can help them to alleviate such conditions. Probiotics, and those good guys as well, are responsible for producing important vitamins and minerals that help our health to be better, such as B12, which helps our nervous system, such as K2, which helps with the absorption of vitamin D for stronger bones, and also such as butyrate, which is a small chain fatty acid that actually helps to promote health. So all these things, with all these benefits, a lot of people are prone to go and get probiotics. But I'm going to give you some tips that I've found in practice that can actually help you a little bit better. If you're a person that is constantly bloated, you have indigestion, perhaps reflux, if you are having trouble with constipation, probiotics may actually make things worse initially. So taking probiotics from the beginning may not be the solution for you. And this is where it's important to work with a qualified practitioner to understand when to take probiotics. Typically, what I tell most patients is that it's better to get the digestion handled first and then start to add probiotics very, very slowly. You start with a very low dose. Perhaps for even some people, they have to open the capsule and put a little bit on their tongue to test first. And every 2 days or so, start increasing the dosage until we see that there's no problem with taking these probiotics. So very important to understand when to take probiotics. For other people that have issues with a lot of diarrhea, for example, probiotics in their high dose forms, like we're talking 400, 500 billion, for some people even more, can help them to alleviate any diarrhea they may be experiencing. Typically, problems with diarrhea happen because of this imbalance in the microbiome we talked about before. So replenishing with plenty of probiotics is the way to go there. Again, you'll need to work with a qualified practitioner so you understand when you need probiotics. So what kinds of probiotics are actually good for us? I see a lot of patients that are coming in with probiotics that only have one strain in them. Typically, the most famous ones are Lactobacillus and Bifidobacterium. But there's also a lot more species than this. So what you want to do is when you're looking for a probiotic is to make sure you have a multi-strain probiotic, one with many different kinds of probiotics in it. That's the place to start. If you're not sure if probiotics will make you feel worse in the beginning, start with a very low dose and work your way up. In fact, probiotics can make you feel worse in the beginning because they start to kill off or start to replace the bad bacteria and push out the bad bacteria. So you can get some die-off effects and have some headaches and perhaps bloating in the beginning when you start taking probiotics. So that's also something to be aware of. Another type of probiotic that is gaining popularity are the soil-based probiotics, and these can actually be very effective in replenishing your microbiome. But again, I wouldn't have it as my go-to if I have digestive issues and I'm suffering with a lot of bloating and constipation. It's very important that we address that first. Another thing to consider when we're talking about probiotics is how to get it from our diet. Eating fermented foods like coconut water kefir or sauerkraut or fermented vegetables is a great way of getting trillions of good bacteria into your system in only a small amount of food. So for example, a couple tablespoons of sauerkraut can actually give you a good trillion amount of bacteria every single day. Again, if these foods are bothering you and they're leaving you more gassy and more bloated, you're going to want to lay off the fermented foods in the beginning and work on the digestive health first, because a lot of the time, patients that suffer with fermented foods are the ones that typically have overgrowths like small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And this needs to be addressed before we start giving those bacteria. It's very easy to make your own fermented vegetables. You can actually take a mason jar, a glass mason jar, fill it up with water, add a little bit of salt or quite a bit of salt in it, and add your favorite vegetables. And cover it loosely on top and stick it in the refrigerator for about a week. The vegetables start to ferment and you start to get a good amount of probiotics. So a very cheap way of getting your probiotics and not having to spend, a lot of money on other probiotics that perhaps are in capsules. If you guys have any questions on probiotics, please leave your questions and comments below. Or if you'd like to schedule an appointment with Neomed so we can help you with your digestive health, please let us know and we're here for you. Take care. Bye-bye.